Hi, I'm Christy Moran, and I'm going to talk about my reflections of this course. This course to me has been a return to the heart of occupational therapy. I graduated in 1991, and for me, it's felt like going back to a favorite place from my childhood. I enjoyed the conversation about the ambiguity of the term occupation. Over the years, I've used occupation to be both a tool used in therapy as well as an outcome of therapy. My choices have been related to the setting and to the needs of the client, and for me, there is beauty in that blend. I appreciated the realization that it is context that gives occupation meaning. Sewing curtains for a kitchen window and sewing a baptismal gown are very different things. I learned about the field of occupational science and the 4 levels of knowledge. The article I presented to the class in Journal Club was so relevant to my work that I also presented it to my team. The discussion on occupational balance was enlightening. My self-assessment showed that my balance was no longer balanced. It was also easy to see that I was not the only one. Evidence-based practice was something that came into favor after I was in the field. I heard about it from my students. That had always been a medical concept to me, and it was interesting to talk about it in relation to occupational therapy. I really enjoy talking about the occupation-focused models and thinking about my current and past practice in terms of each. I'm also thankful that they were presented in the order that they were, with the most complex coming toward the end of the term. The Person Environment Occupation Model, or PEO, was interesting as it considered the fit between each of the components. The better the fit, the better the occupational performance. I enjoyed the discussion of how well people were able to integrate it into practice. I was able to make it work in mine, but it didn't feel natural. The Person Environment Occupation Performance Model, or PEOP, made more sense to me. I was easily able to apply it not only to past and present clients, but to my own grandmother. I wrote about her in the discussion board. The ecology of human performance was another model that was a little outside my easy box. I understood it and appreciated it and liked how they grouped small tasks into activities, grouped activities into occupations, and grouped occupations into occupational roles. The discussion of natural versus contrived contexts contained pluses and minuses, but was balanced on both sides as to what was the best. I lean toward natural environments, having worked in both, but I understand that most therapists do not have a choice. The model of human occupation is a complex and holistic model, but it also made sense to me as an OT. I like how Moho explains habituation and how we can layer on multiple activities at the same time. I agree that volition is the key to change and that the feedback loop is critical. I appreciate how Moho explains that play is what organizes behavior and energizes change, and that work is what maintains the individual and the social group, and that in each stage of life, the balance between the two changes. The occupational adaptation model was my favorite. The terminology is so very different that it made it harder to understand at first, but as I read more and more about it, it really seems to me that it is the way we learn how to do everything. We learn how to walk through occupational adaptation, how to cook through occupational adaptation, even how to study through occupational adaptation. It's a model that for physical impairments works well in the natural environment, but could be done in an outpatient or a rehab setting just as well. I've used it in early intervention. A mother with 2 autistic children would discuss with me what happened when they went to the park or the zoo. She had a strong desire to participate in this normal parenting occupation. She and I strategized together what went wrong, what went right, and where she could make changes. She tried multiple times. Each time she took in the feedback and adapted her strategies and responses accordingly. She transitioned this feedback and response adaptation when she took them to the Children's Science Center and to the playroom at Chick-fil-A. She decided that some of the activities she wanted her children to engage in were just not possible at that time because their sensory motor functioning would just not allow them to be successful. She picked more appropriate activities that were fun and that she considered normal. She was the one engaging in occupational adaptation as much as the children. And the last one we studied was the Kawa model. It was another model that was outside of my box. I understood it, but personally felt it was too much of a mindset change for me to put into practice. I'm impressed with those people that can switch between a Western and Eastern philosophy easily. For me, the easiest models to put into action are the PEOP, the MOHO, and the occupational adaptation. I find that those models fit my personality and outlook the best, and the ones that I can quickly and easily fit clients and family members into. I am committed to maintaining a closer relationship with my occupational roots. I have revived the journal club we had at work related to my practice team. I've taken articles to them for discussion at our weekly huddles. We keep a notebook of works relevant to our practice, and I'm adding more occupation-based articles to that notebook. Working in a hospital, there is always a pull to the medical model, but we have the support of our physicians. Some of them admittedly do not exactly know what we do, but agree that we're important to the process. We educate whenever given the chance, and there are many medical team members who recognize exactly what we bring to the table. I am very happy to be in the OTD program and to have taken this class. It really did make an impact on me. Thank you. And by the way, I apologize if you heard my cats playing around while I made this recording. Can't keep them out of the room.